Hi, this is Kolopka and we're going to have another video. And as usual, it's going to be about Avinox again. In the last video, we focused our attention primarily on the riding characteristics, how it actually rides or doesn't ride, and whether it's truly better than Bosch or not. And today, we're mainly going to talk about the bike's controls and the companion app, which I think is every bit as crucial and significant these days as the riding characteristics themselves. So let's go ahead and power up the bike now. You have the option to set a password there. For the purposes of this video, I set a simple one. As you can see right away, the display is touch sensitive. Another great thing is that it can be very easily operated even while wearing thick gloves. But what you will most often use to control the bike are the various controllers located on the handlebars. On the left side, you can quickly change the level of electric assistance. And over on the right side of the screen, you can scroll through the menu options. Basically, what you are looking at are display screens that you can personalize and customize to add a wide variety of information to. This is how I usually ride. Let's go to this particular section. This is called the Avinox control menu, where you have all the essential basic settings. You see Cyclist 0, I haven't ridden the bike yet today. It automatically records your route. You have the option to turn the light on and off if you have it connected to the system. I know that in the Czech Republic it's hard to buy this. It's unnecessary. Another thing, you see disconnect, which means you can easily pair a DJI action camera with the bike and you have the option to control it both through the display and with the controllers. Another thing, that's the heart icon below. You have the option to pair a heart rate monitor from the traditional type, either from a watch or from a chest strap. I recommend the chest strap, but we'll look at that in a part of the video. Let's move on to the settings. I also forgot to mention, let me show you. At the top, you can see the bike has a built-in SIM card slot, so you don't need to buy anything extra. If you insert a SIM card, it unlocks additional features, which I also recommend. You have the option to secure the bike remotely. It monitors it for you, updates are downloaded automatically, and your ride records are uploaded. Another thing, GPS, I probably don't even need to talk about that. Full signal. And let's go into the settings. Actually, I have to do it here. Basic information. Device status. If the bike has any error, it will show you there. I've ridden about 600 kilometers on the bike, and I saw one error there. When I left the bike turned on in the sun for 2 hours, it showed me some sensor error related to elevation. I worked on the bike for 5 minutes and then it turned off. It didn't affect the riding performance at all. I hope I won't see anything wrong anywhere. And from what I see online, there haven't been any major issues so far. Another option is pairing with the app. You turn it on, a QR code appears, and you pair it with the Avinox app. We'll also take a look at it in a part of the video. You have the option to use simple navigation through the integrated digital display of the bike. I don't use that. I have my phone on the handlebars and I run mappy.cs on it, which works better for me. Another option, well, it's actually something a lot of different people will probably change. I only tried it out. I tried changing it once. It suits me as it is. The option to change the assistance levels, but I would highly recommend making those changes in the app. It's much more intuitive and user-friendly. Another option is accessories. There you'll actually see all your accessories that you have connected. Now we have the left controller successfully paired, along with the right controller, and the right controller is ready to go. At the moment, the camera is disconnected, and likewise the heart rate chest strap is also disconnected. You simply pair it once. If you turn on the action camera, it connects via Bluetooth and you don't have to pair it again. It's the same with the chest strap or the watch. Once you start sharing from the watch, it automatically pairs. It's not necessary. Another thing I like is route recording. I'm the type of person who likes to record their routes, so I have it turned on. You actually have the option when you want to record a route. We'll take a look at it in the app. Nice results, meaning you can then see complete statistics. I currently have it set to automatic mode, but you also have the option for manual control or for it to detect activity. Because whenever you start moving, I have it set to turn on automatically, since I want every single route to be detected. Be careful, turning it off doesn't mean it won't count your kilometers, but that's probably obvious. You have auto pause, so when you stop the bike, the activity keeps recording, but movement time, you have stop and play, which is also nice. I use it. Another thing is the brightness. I'm standing out here right now, the bright sun is shining down. And you can clearly see that this display has a very responsive ambient light sensor built right into it. When I manually set it to the maximum level, it really shines like crazy. I leave it on automatic, it works pretty well. I've never had a situation where I couldn't see the display while riding. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's a quality OLED display. Another thing, you have the option to set up those two controllers you have on the handlebars. I haven't really changed much there. The only thing I have set up is that when I hold down the right controller wheel, the action camera starts recording. There are really a lot of options there, as I said. That's for the tinkerers. Me, I just want to ride. There really is a lot there for me. That's really sophisticated. Another thing is smooth shift. You might already know it from other bikes. How can I describe it simply so I don't get tangled up? It's a piece of technology that allows you to seamlessly shift into a different gear on the cassette without even having to pedal. I personally don't use it very much, but a lot of people praise it quite a lot. I only turn it on during long downhill descents when I know for sure that I'll be pedaling back uphill afterward. It's useful, right? Basically, when you are riding fast downhill, you already know there is another steep climb waiting for you right at the bottom, so you just click it in and the system automatically shifts for you into the perfect gear without you even having to think about it. You don't have to pedal while doing it. That's basically the whole point, right? Because for some technical descents, you need to have your pedals in a certain position. It's a nice feature, but I don't use it that much. Just be careful, you need to have an electronic shifter. It doesn't work with regular ones, but most Avinox have it. Another thing is the advanced features. There are quite a few of them, but I have most of them, or actually I have everything turned off. Maybe I have something turned on now because I was testing it again, which is this gear shifting suggestion. This feature works so that the bike will display on the screen whether you're pedaling too lightly or too heavily and whether you should switch to a higher or lower assist level, or you should shift to a harder or easier gear. It works exceptionally well, but I'm certain that it performs the calculation based on cadence and so on. The bike's incline, or rather the incline, sorry. Basically, the bike's position, whether you're going downhill on flat ground and so on. I don't use it. If you ever want to read it, just pause the video. You can translate it yourself. Another thing is, it's important to note that it constantly monitors and tracks the angle. So if you tilt the bike more than 45 degrees, which you would probably do if you were riding a wheelie, it will automatically shut down and cut off the motor. Because as I said, these bikes really have a lot of power. And for someone who isn't familiar with it, if you suddenly step on the pedal, it will lift the front wheel. So at the moment when you exceed the 45-degree angle, it will turn off the assistance. It's nice though. I don't ride wheelies myself. And again, it's good that you can turn it off because some professional riders who want to ride wheelies and know how to handle it, they work with that. I don't use it. Another thing is the free hub. Typically, whenever you come to a complete stop somewhere, the rear hub assembly on your bike has those internal pawls that engage. And it is something that can definitely happen quite frequently during your ride, that it just doesn't engage right then. And when you pedal somewhere uphill, there might be, or rather there should be, some feedback. I tried riding with it, I had it turned on and I didn't notice any difference. For me, it is completely unnecessary. Another important feature to mention is Quick Start, which is quite similar, or rather it is another feature that is specifically designed to ensure a much faster response the moment you start pedaling. Again, I don't feel like there's any feedback while pedaling. I have it turned off. I tried having both options turned on. I tried starting uphill. I really tried it, and I didn't notice any difference. Other things. The chain protection feature, that's basically designed for protective load management when we push the bike hard. DJI themselves, or rather Avinox, explicitly state that this is an experimental and advanced feature because it's specifically meant for those moments when you're pedaling and shifting gears. At that exact moment, the cassette and the chain really take the most amount of strain during the shifting process. And especially when the motor is actively assisting you, the drivetrain really takes a heavy beating. So it momentarily shuts off for a brief moment, or rather, it significantly reduces the motor's power right when you're shifting gears to protect the components. So the chain and cassette aren't under as much strain. For me, it doesn't suit me. When I'm pedaling uphill and I shift, I can really tell whether it's on or off. Like I said, even DJI themselves write that it's an experimental feature because they're probably trying to fine-tune it so it doesn't lose too much power but still serves its purpose. I don't know, I don't use it, but it's a nice feature to have. I understand this option because you can turn it on or off, but I don't understand these other two. I think it should be enabled by default, and it's deleting it unnecessarily. It confuses the user. Another thing is the speed limit. We'll take a look at that in a separate video. I'll just mention I've already seen that some eShops are offering some kind of speed box for Avinox for around 8,000. There's no need for an option to set the speed limit. I'll just show you quickly. You can set it up easily within 5 minutes. Anyone can set it up. You don't have to install anything, no soldering required. Above all, don't buy any. One more important detail regarding these speed boxes. What's important are the various general configuration settings we have available there. You have the option to mute the bike, which I personally use because otherwise it emits a beep and it can get quite annoying, or at least it really annoys me. I only have it turned on when I am riding out on a trail, so I can clearly hear whether I have set a higher or a lower assistance level. Otherwise, normally I prefer to keep the sound off. Another option, turn off the screen. I've never used it in my life. I don't know why I would need to use it. Let me know in the comments if you would find it useful to have the screen turned off. Maybe for some filming, I don't know. So it doesn't ruin your shot. I don't know. I don't use it. Another thing, auto off. I recommend setting this up. Specifically, I have it set to 4 hours, which means how long it takes for the bike to turn off automatically if there's no activity. Since I use Avinox's ride recording feature, I want to have one ride recorded and saved per day. This way, you ride somewhere, leave your bike parked for 30 minutes, go and grab some lunch, the bike turns off, the ride is saved automatically, you don't have to save anything. Then when you get back on the bike, a brand new recording starts. So you end up with 2 recordings for that day. I prefer to have just one recording for the whole day. The pause is automatically included in the recording, so you don't have to stop anything yourself. Like I said, I have it set for 4 hours, you go for lunch. Fine. Another advantage is fast bike charging, but we'll cover that in a separate video. But why am I mentioning this? So what happened was I was thinking about lunch. I put the bike on the charger and of course it still didn't turn off. So the recording was still just one for the whole day. Another thing is the maintenance mode. That's basically the maintenance mode, to put it in Czech. You always have the option to turn it on if you really need to, especially if you need to adjust something specific on the bike or set something up and you find that you need to have the bike fully turned on, but you're worried that to prevent the pedal assist from activating, you just turn this on. I haven't had to use it yet. I haven't done anything on the bike yet. Another thing is calibration. I've got 600 hours on the bike and that's it. I haven't had to change anything there. Gyroscope, compass, elevation, and those at the bottom. Altimeter. I compare it with my Garmin watch. I feel like it works. I don't mess with it. I don't want to mess anything up. The next thing is units. We're in Europe, so I use kilometers, time, and I like having the day, month, and year. I'm not going to mess with things like angle or percentages. It's kind of a silly thing. Another thing people might be interested in is the language. Unfortunately, Czech isn't available yet, and I think it won't be for a long time, because for some time now, maybe 10 years, drones have been around from the same company in the Czech Republic, and their app still isn't in Czech. I'm not entirely sure, but there's English, German, and what other ones might catch your interest. Russian, right? And then there are also some different Asian languages. The best part is that anyone can easily learn to ride a bicycle, even if they haven't learned how to read yet. I personally looked through the beginner's guide, but I didn't learn anything useful from it at all. And since you are already watching this video right now, there is really no need for you to go and watch that one. And again, you can see how beautifully the display works. And just like that, we are all finished. The device is performing a system update. I'm telling you right now, a bike is just like a modern electric car now. There are constantly new software updates coming in. It can download the update by itself if you have a SIM card in it. If not, you connect to it with the Avinox app and it downloads the updates via Bluetooth. I've had the bike for about a month and I've already received 3 updates. About device, right? Basically about the bike. Serial number, other things. There's an email at the bottom. I don't want to show that. Nothing really that you absolutely need to see. Next are some details. Those are some European licenses. I don't know. I'm not interested in that. Another thing, you have the option to delete bikes. Careful. Be aware it will delete the bike, delete the records, everything. It's logical that it won't delete the number of kilometers ridden. So if I were to sell the bike, I would just delete it. And that's one thing we have. That's the app itself, which is Avinox. The app is available for both iPhone and Android. Right now, we have it here on the iPhone. When you open the app, at the top, you see Kolobka. That's the name of the bike, which you can change. We're connected via Bluetooth. The padlock means the bike is unlocked and turned on. There's a little triangle there. When we tap it, it's the device status. Fortunately, everything is fine. It won't notify you unless there are some major issues with the bike. The next thing is the envelope icon, which is for notifications. The last notification was that the bike was locked and someone moved it. That was me, by the way. The bike will start beeping very loudly. You then have the option to enter P on the display, or you can remotely deactivate the alarm using the app on your phone. Another thing, we have the battery here. Currently, my bike is at exactly 50% charge, and since then, I've ridden a total of 46 kilometers, but the bike was originally charged to somewhere between 70 and 80%. But what you might be interested in is that if you click on the battery icon, you can see it also provides an estimate of the remaining range. And from my experience, those numbers are accurate. I weigh about 90 kilograms. I generally try to pedal on my own, or rather, I ride mostly in the EQO power mode, occasionally switching into auto, and I rarely use the turbo setting at all. Another thing, which some people know, I don't really use it much, I just turned it on now for the video, is how much you should charge the battery. I usually charge it to 95, most of the time to 100. A lot of people do this with their phones and only charge them to 80%. We know that batteries last the longest when they're charged between 20% and 80%. For example, if I know I won't be riding for a while, I'll charge it to 80%, maybe even just 70%. It's a shame there's no 90% option. Another thing, battery cycles. I've already gone through 9 cycles. And Avinox boasts that the battery should last up to 500 cycles without any loss of lifespan. We'll see. I hope that's true. The next tab is security. Safety is a key feature. That actually works pretty well if you choose to insert a SIM card. If you do not, you will only be able to see the last known location based on the Bluetooth connection. But if you have a SIM card installed in your phone, you can easily see the bike's current location, my own location, and you even have the option to turn the bike on or off remotely. You can also check the battery level, the GPS signal quality, and the overall signal strength. The signal is actually the SIM card signal. You have the option to activate this feature, which I recommend, but please be very careful. If someone tries to move the bicycle, it will start beeping. The first thing you saw at the beginning of the video was that the bike was requesting a password. I currently have a security password set up on there, and you also have the convenient option to change the password. Another thing is, if you have your phone on and it's paired with the bike, you can turn the bike on without entering the password at all. It connects via Bluetooth. Another thing is, if the bike is moved while it's turned off, it will start beeping. You have the option to temporarily turn this off. I recommend sometimes turning it off temporarily because, you know, it happened to me. I put the bike on the stand, on the car, worked for an hour, forgot to turn it off, and I kept getting notification beeps. Think about it. You have the option to turn it off for for an hour or for 4 hours. Hours for the whole day. I recommend it. It worked for me. Then it will scare the thief away. I hope I never have to investigate this. If so, the bike has a built-in SIM card, so you can't just get there undetected, or at the very least, you can't do it without getting a notification on your phone. Another thing, you have the option to make the bike beep. It's not as loud as when the alarm goes off. I think the alarm, I don't know where it came from, but it was really loud. It happened to me once, so I don't know what it's for. Maybe if you're sitting somewhere at a pub terrace and some strange person is hanging around your bike, you can make it beep remotely. Another option is Find My Bike. I'm a bit disappointed about that. I was expecting, and I read that Avinox, that was also one of the reasons why I bought the bike, because I already have it on my electric scooter, that it falls into the Apple FireMind ecosystem. Yeah, that's not possible. From what I've found out, the new Avanox will have some kind of chip. I don't know what exactly. They will have that service. I don't know if they'll add it with some update. I honestly don't think they're able to give us that here on these bikes, just through a software update. You have the option to see the bike's location in whichever app you choose. That's probably the whole security tab. Let's move on to the next thing. Custom assist mode. That's what I was talking about. You can change the assistance level. I haven't tried changing it too much yet. We'll take a look at it in a separate video at various indicators. Another nice feature. You have the option to add your own mode there. If none of the existing ones suit you and you'd like to have your own, so I click on the gear icon, it's nice. You have the option to change it intuitively like this, which I think is how it should work on new bikes. Someone actually put some thought into it. When you buy the bike, it starts with auto, eco, and so on. I'm used to the eco-friendly mode being number 1, the automatic setting being number 2, and so on. So you have the option to set your own completely customizable modes there. Here are some test modes. You save it. Another thing, we'll probably make a separate video about this too, because there really is a lot you can do. As I mentioned before, you have the option to connect the heart rate sensor. And if you're serious about it, you want a chest strap, not a watch. And based on that, you can set how much the bike helps you or makes your ride harder. It's basically like a trainer, but you don't have to pedal on an exercise bike in the basement. You have the option to actually go for a ride. The bike makes it harder or easier for you to pedal depending on your current heart rate. These days, a lot of people prefer to train according to specific heart rate zones, and if you just want to stay in zone 2, you simply set a certain target heart rate and the bike tries, as I said before, to either challenge you or make it easier for you to maintain that level. But that's probably a longer topic and not that many people are interested in it, so we'll turn it off. That would probably be the assistant settings. The next thing is bike protection. We've already talked about that. The next thing is the bike display setting. That's what I was talking about. If you have the option, and there really is a lot there. This is the control center, and you can set it up however you want and choose what you need to see while riding. For me, this is usually enough. I see the speed, I see the time, I see the battery, I see the gear. But if you like to tinker, you can really add a lot there. And you can have, I don't know, I tried 10 and it worked. For example, here it's straightforward as it's all touch controlled. Like I said, maybe one day you'll be on a train for 2 hours and you'll get a little bored, so you can set it up however you like. You can easily adjust the range or even the speed. And here there really is a lot. Now, as for time, like I said, I won't get into it, but it is definitely there. For example, if you're looking at your heart rate, how much you're pedaling, cadence, watts, there's really a lot there. If you're interested, we can make a separate video about it. You save it, and we should already have it in the bike. You simply don't have to set anything up. What did we put in there? The heart rate. You see, I have it in the bike. I didn't have to upload anything. Other things, you hold it. This is how I think it should work in the bike. You can arrange it however you want. I am going to reset it because most of the time I am already using that specific one. There's really a lot in there for me. Another thing is the SIM connectivity. I think they'll eventually put it into some separate settings. Basically, if you insert a SIM card and turn it on, that's all there is to it. About the SIM card, if you were also curious, I'll give you a recommendation based on what I found out. Avinox uses about 200 megabytes per month. I got myself a SIM card for 600 Czech koruna per year. It has 50 or 60 gigabytes, so I don't have to worry about it. Mainly, I don't want to, or maybe a lot of people do it this way, buy a SIM card and pay something like 400 Czech koruna per month just to have unlimited data. I got mine for 600 CZK from O2 for a year. It has 60 gigabytes and I don't have to worry about it. Regarding the device update, as I said, it's a modern bike. It gets regular updates and there are quite a lot of them. Unit, again, you can change these settings right here, as we already showed you on the bike. Another thing is in the bike section, you can actually see the name. You can change the model there. You see, yes, it's a Crussis. I have the XL. The size is large, the current temperature. You can clearly see the cassette and you can see when I activated it and exactly how much I have ridden so far. You have the option to unpair it. This is probably the main tab, the one you'll be using the most. Next is navigation, as I mentioned. Sorry. There's navigation. I used it once and watched some videos to see how it works. I don't really know what it's for, or rather, it's for navigation, but as I said, I use my phone and mappy.cz. You can upload a route there, but it doesn't work like a navigation system where you just enter that you want to go, I don't know, from Prague to Brno, and it will guide you. You have to upload the map yourself. Maybe it's for some kind of races, but I don't use it. The next thing is statistics, and you can see that there are really a lot of them, and that's what I was talking about. It records your every movement, but to look at some relevant data, for example, here at 100 kilometers, that day I rode 106 kilometers. Let's take a look at it. 106 kilometers, average speed, how much I climbed, descended, how many calories I burned. If I click on the more arrow here, I really get a lot of information, such as your total ride time, total elevation gained, and average speed. Another nice thing is that you can see how much you pedaled and how much the motor assisted and how much you both pedaled together. The only thing someone might point out is that the cadence is on the lower side. I think it works like this. I rode for a total of 5 hours and 20 minutes. I have the same amount climbed and descended, so logically I was pedaling at the beginning. And when you're going downhill, you don't pedal. I try to keep my cadence around 80 to 90, more like 80, which would make sense. So you divide the time with the cadence by 2. So I think I really need to work on this because it should only be counting the cadence when you are actually pedaling, not over the total ride time. It is actually quite nice that you have the option to upload the route if you want to share it with someone, though you probably would not want to do that here. Another thing, you have the option to delete it. We're getting close to the end. The next thing is the last one. That's the little figure, which is the profile. At the top, you have the option to name the user. I named myself Kolobka. Another great feature to mention is that you have the option to sync all of your detailed route records with external apps. I personally use Strava for sports and tracking, and automatically, the moment you finish your session, even if you don't have your phone with you, but you have a SIM card, it seamlessly uploads everything to Strava. Be careful, this might be annoying for some people because, as I said, I have automatic ride tracking, so even if I just go a kilometer here, it immediately logs it as a brand new activity in Strava. What Avinox really needs to work on, honestly, is the naming of the activity, because right now it's just illogical. Another thing is, let's just click through it. Actually, when it uploads or downloads data somewhere, where does it go through? I think they only have it like that because of some European Union regulations. Based on my location, it should download and upload data outside of China. To be perfectly honest, I really don't care at all about what the Chinese government might do with my data. If it helps improve the system, then that is even better for everyone involved. Again, here is yet another help tab popping up. Here we have frequently asked questions, which I also recommend reading on the train or in the bathroom. There are some interesting things there. It only takes 5 minutes, but for example, let's look here at how long it takes to charge the battery. For example, I have this 500-watt charger here, which most of you will have. The battery I have is 800 watts. From 0 to 100%, it takes 2 hours and 23 minutes. From 0 to 80%, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes. I've really tested it. You just plug it into the charger and you can actually see the percentage going up. There are quite a lot of questions there. So if you ever get bored, just click through them. Another thing is the manual. The manual is useless. You just won't find out anything from it. Another option is support. If you happen to encounter an error, you actually have the option to download the log, bring that file to the service center, and they should be able to help you resolve the issue. Whether they'll actually help you and know what to do with it, that's another question. Another thing to keep in mind is if you find a bug in the app, you can easily report the issue to the Chinese developers and hopefully they'll work on fixing it. Are there enough new software updates available for the app? I don't know. I sent something there, but you don't get any feedback. Another option is suggestion. You have the option to send them a suggestion to improve the bike. I've already sent something there, again with no response. We'll see if they add it. And with that, today's video is probably over. Hopefully this helped someone. And if you have any questions about the Avinox system, whether about the system itself, what's in the bike, or the app, definitely ask me. I'm telling you. Well, that is probably just about everything. The frogs are starting to croak here. I don't know if you can hear them. They're saying goodbye to you too. And if you enjoyed the video even a little bit, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, some comments, and a subscription. Until next time, keep on riding. Bye.